Donald Trump has shown in his short time as president that he will take any opportunity to go against what his predecessors have done, regardless of whether it might improve the situation. His unilateral decisions on healthcare, taxation, immigration, and now the Middle East, anger as Trump declares Jerusalem Israel's capital, December 7, have been taken without informed advice or any understanding of the likely consequences. To say, as Trump does, that recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel is furthering the peace process is as divorced from sane thinking as saying that pouring petrol on a smoldering fire will put it out. Fortunately, the countries that agree with his action can be counted on the thumb of one small hand. He faces unanimous condemnation from statesmen and politicians who, unlike him, know more of the Middle East than the inside of the gold-plated palaces of Saudi billionaires. Perhaps his action, which legitimizes the illegal theft of Palestinian land by the Israelis, will give the kiss of death to the so-called two-state solution and encourage those countries, most of the world, that are shocked by America's abandonment of even the appearance of balance, to support moves towards one single state of all its inhabitants between the Jordan and the Mediterranean. The only people who would suffer in such a state would be parties and politicians like Netanyahu, who thrive on the racist concept that Palestinians and Jews can never live together in peace. In fact, they did exactly that for hundreds of years until Britain encouraged the influx of hundreds of thousands of European Jews who had no interest in sharing the land with its indigenous Arab inhabitants. Carl Sabag, author, Palestine, A Personal History. Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and start the move to relocate the U.S. Embassy goes against every UN resolution and the beliefs of every European state as well as the Arab countries he has been trying to cultivate this last 6 months or more. Personally, I feel angry at the willful support of a regime which, if it wasn't Israel, would be condemned as a rogue state. This one-sided decision will release a pent-up fury, where Britain has a lot to answer for. We held the mandate and promised the Palestinians their rights, but abandoned them. To assuage the fury, the least the UK could do is immediately recognize the state of Palestine based on the 1967 borders. After the Liberal Democrats changed their policy at the last conference, there is now a majority for such a move. Done urgently, we might cool the situation. I believe most EU countries would follow suit. It is also Europe, not the US, where the solution lies to getting the Zionists to negotiate in good faith. It is where they sell most of their products. Israel not only ignores every UN resolution that references its ethnic cleansing and creation of an apartheid state, but every day carries out night raids and blocks people going about their peaceful business. Last week there were shots fired at fishing vessels, farms, and we're still at a funeral. There were night raids on 2 villages, 5 attacks on houses, plus 16 flying checkpoints. This sort of happening is an everyday occurrence. Peter Downey, Bath.